to say something about these paintings, I really thought, well, I have nothing to say. I painted it. And then my husband the other day tried to do a little interview, and I said, well, I have nothing to say. But then yesterday, Annette came by and kind of asked a few questions. I thought, okay, I better try this. And then I realized, oh, I have a lot to say. And this is the first time that I'm showing, kind of the first time that I'm showing this work. And it came really somewhat inspired by a friend of mine who was writing a book at the time and was actually doing the Japanese practice of koan, and the book is based on that. It's called The Power of an Open Question. And I read the chapters as she was writing. She's my neighbor, and we used to take walks, and we kept talking about this practice of koan, which is basically an unanswerable question. And I was struggling for years to paint in an abstract way because things always turned into something. And somehow in talking to her about this book she was writing about the unanswerable question, I thought, oh, this actually is something that exists in art as well. And when I started painting these, I tried to actually strip away from the form and the content and have it really be the essence, which turned out to be this unanswerable question, or many unanswerable questions. And you could probably see that more in some and less in others. They're never really painted on the spot. I do sketches and gouache drawings on the spot, and then I take that home. And sometimes it's years, sometimes months after I paint the actual painting. So it's somewhat the memory, well, it is completely the memory of the moment, and then also the present moment when I'm painting. And a lot of them are, well, they're not, some of them you could really see, like the one that I'm standing in front of. We went to Grand Canyon, and there was a blue moon, full moon over Grand Canyon. And when I look at it, I really see that in my mind's eye, but I have no idea what you all see, whether that's obvious or not. What I hope it communicates is the feeling of that moment.
I think it's wonderful that you went from being more of an illustrative kind of painter to something that is more ambiguous. And I'm curious how you took that leap, apart from this conversation. You were actually in the studio. What kept you from answering all of the questions?
If you really come up with a solid answer, something like, oh, I know, you've kind of missed it. Because what you're really, well, not, I don't want to say hoping to get, you're really trying to not do anything. You're kind of trying to strip it down to that most essential moment of really not being there. You know, do you know what I mean? Like just where, and in that moment when you're not there, then the painting is kind of reveals itself, and it is what it is. And I have no idea often if it's beautiful or not. Like my tendency is to arrange it in some pleasing way, but more and more, and this is what I hope comes out of this work, is that I don't try to arrange it in a pleasing way, that I just try to let it, you know, just let that be.
Was it based in an emotional process or a non-mind process or intellectual process?
You know, that's a really difficult question, and I can't say because I don't think it's intellectual process. I think it's more the first that you say, you know, that kind of moment of complete openness, and you just let it, I mean, it sounds trite when I say you just let whatever is there come out on its own. You kind of get out of the way. That's the best I can describe it, when sort of me, the artist who has the tube of paint and the brush and the palette knife, gets out of the way. Then that's what the stripping down process is. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you.